This man is re-signed. He is back with the Tampa Bay Rowdies. It's the one and only Forrest Lasso. Forrest, what is going on, brother? How are you?
I'm doing well, man. I'm doing well. Jay, what's going on with you? How you doing?
I'm doing good, man. And we saw that, and you don't see this very often because, listen, I get a crap ton of press releases to my inbox on a daily basis. But I get the one a couple weeks ago of like all the guys coming back, and Forrest Lasso, but we're looking at in contract negotiations. And I was like, you don't see that very often. But I know how much you love this place. I saw how close you were with this team, even though you didn't play because you were banged up all year long. I mean, what was the last couple of weeks like as you were just trying to figure out what the future was for you here in Tampa Bay?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, pretty easy. Like, it was more than just weeks. It was a couple months. Obviously, I got hurt May 18th. I had surgery May 23rd. Leading up, literally that night I got hurt, I had a brace. I had a career high night. So I was enjoying the wave by all means. The future was looking great. We were, hopefully going to be working on, or we were working on an extension at the moment. But when I got hurt, that kind of sidelines things for a little while. And professional sports or sports in general, life, whatever it be, the injury was what it was. I probably had like 48 hours where I was like down in the depths. And then all of a sudden I was like, you know what? It's up to me. It's up to no one else. I'm just going to get back to it. Obviously, the thing that you just mentioned, the contract, the future, where I would be playing, that was perpetually looming above my head. Everyone asked about it. Everyone, that was the first question. But for me, I just kind of put it to the side and just kept focusing on what I needed to. And that was just getting healthy and doing what I do and trying to be the best teammate I could for the club. I think you kind of mentioned at the beginning, this was a unique experience for me all around. It's crazy. I'm telling you, like, I've really enjoyed being hurt. That sounds so insane, I know, but like the lessons I've learned, the player that I'm growing into, so many parts of it. I don't want to ramble too long about it, but I was just focusing on being intentional with all my actions. I was trying to get healthy as quick as possible. I was trying to be there for my teammates, trying to support the club, give back to the community. I wasn't able to do what I had been doing in the past, and that was, doing the stuff on the pitch. But I'm more than just a football player. I think everyone, we all are. And I wanted to find ways to contribute. So I didn't think about the contract, getting to your point. I didn't try to, at least. And I just focused on the day to day. And the past 2 or so weeks, once the season ended, obviously it was the only thing everyone talked about. But I've been doing this for now 11 years. And this is why you have agents. This is why you have people that you can handle this type of stuff. And I let them focus on the nitty gritty. And I just focused on getting healthy. I'm a religious man and I believe in the universe kind of aligning itself. So I let God do his thing, I let the universe do his thing, and I knew it was going to be all right. And, here we are today, and I'm more grateful than ever to be still with the Rowdies.
I'm so glad that you're here, man. It's such a great thing. And I've had this conversation with multiple athletes over the last 10 years or so. And there's such a moment of reflection at times when you become a dad that it really puts things into perspective of what being a professional athlete. Like, I never was one, so I don't know. Right. But just having these conversations, because I remember I asked a Rays player once, hey, how you look at the game, has it changed since you've been a dad? And he goes, no, it really hasn't. He came up to me 2 weeks later. He grabbed me. He's like, Jay, I got to tell you something. And he's like, what we talked about, you're right. I was like, what do you mean? He goes, I went 0 for 4 with 4 strikeouts. I didn't even care when I went home because my kid was there. And of course, not only are you one of my favorite players, but my family loves you. The little girl, they love our girls. They love you. They were so upset when you got hurt. But when I saw the time that you had to spend with your family at this time, as your young family was growing, I was like, that's what it was about, bro. That was like, you're a religious guy. It was somebody up above going like, Forrest, now's the time for you to just be with your family right now. And it was so crazy. It was like, it brings like, it gets me emotional talking about it, bro.
Right now, I'm not going to lie. Like that has been the same thing that everyone, I said it from the beginning. Like, my wife was obviously, how am I going to deal with 2 under 2 when you're on the road every other weekend? There was just this huge rain cloud. And there shouldn't be a rain cloud in such a positive and joyous moment in our lives, but there's the reality of like, how are we going to balance this? And what happened, and I've been the most present dad. Like, I've been so grateful for everything I've had the past 6 months, and yeah, you said it. Like, I don't even have words to say how grateful and thankful I am for the time that I've been able to spend with my young growing family. But at the same time, dude, like, I had no time to rest. I literally I was unable to drive 2 days before my wife gave birth. Like, we were thinking about getting Uber to take us to the hospital. Like, she couldn't drive, I couldn't drive. We're like, how in the hell are we going to manage this? And then all of a sudden, my body's like, hey, you can do it. And then I have a newborn. I have to change diapers. My wife needs to be, bedridden while she
Yep.
rests. There was no time for me to be like, I need to whatever. My
Right.
family needed. And of course, there's been a lot of intentional things from my side, my nutrition, everything. I mean, we can dive into this at a whole 360 degrees. Like, I've always been very particular with my sleep, my eating, drinking, you name it, X, Y, and Z. Well, I have now had to try to recover and heal more than I ever have before. So I've been even more refined and and doing everything I'm doing football related is, to your point, there's been 1,000 guys like me that have done the same thing, and have they recovered at the same rate? No, you can't. It's apples and oranges. You can't compare each other. But
Right.
I stand by this. I put my life on it. I would come home from work, like you were saying, and then I would continue work. But I was walking around the neighborhood or going to the park or bending down to pick up toys, or my son wanted me to go play with them. There was these small things in life that were literally identical rehab motions that I was just doing that morning. But I was no longer doing them in a weight room. I was literally applying them in real world scenarios. And the best part about this is I'm a little stubborn at the time. I would wear my younger son on my chest in a little kangaroo thing.
Yeah.
My wife is active on Instagram, so everyone's probably seen this. I would wear one son on my chest, and then I would carry the other one or put him on my shoulders. I would put myself in these like acute scenarios where I'm like, I cannot afford to fail. I don't have the ability to catch myself, or I can't use my hands. I have to trust my knee in these scenarios because my kids' lives depended on it. It wasn't even no longer about me. It was like I had to be there for them. And I swear, man, like, you're a dad. You've been a dad longer than I have. Like, it's crazy. It's like, it's almost impossible to define. And like, I love these little monsters more than anything in the world. And like, I can't wait to walk out on Al Lang and have both of them in my hands and then go lay into someone and hopefully, banging a head or something like that. But no, I mean, it's been such a unique journey with so many like awesome perspectives and lessons and experiences. And like, I've been just soaking it all in, to tell you the truth. Like, I don't want to do it ever again. Hell, I mean, it's
No.
miserable.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
hate it. But you know what I mean? Like,
Mm-hmm.
that's who I am. There's positivity and optimism in everything in life. And like, you sit there in the depths and the shallows and the negative, and you'll drown. That's just fact. So I just choose to spin it the other way and make the most out of it.
Yeah, it's a great perspective, man. It's a great way to look at it. And it's funny because I remember years ago I talked to you before you left, after you left, when you signed with Sundsvall in Sweden. You were actually in the FIFA game, so I put you on my team and I just like kept you there. So now, like, and I trained you up, and you know what I mean, like, and you're one of my cup defensemen now, bro. It's great for
Uh-huh.
my
Well,
Tampa Bay.
respect to you for actually playing me at center back, because all my buddies put me up top at the 9. They refuse to play me at center back. They're like, we're putting you 6'6" up top, and you're just gonna go wreak havoc. I'm like, hey, I kind of like that as well. So it is what it is.
That is great. That is great. But I have trained who I traded for, or I got full Balogun, so I have him up there at the top too. So
Oh, that's
I got
decent.
the American striker as well. Talk to me about some of the love and appreciation you have for the guys on your team. I've been able to really be fortunate to get close to a guy like Leo. I mean, he's just an awesome dude. But of course, you have Lewis, you have Aaron. I mean, you guys are like the core of this Rowdies team now, brother. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
I love going to the games. My family loves going to the games. We're there cheering you guys on, win or lose. But to have, and especially like you four guys, because it's going to be a lot of change. There's a lot of change every year, right?
Right.
But, Cal's gone, Jordan Farr's gone, Jordan Gardy's gone, Freddie's gone. Like, it's a different crew. What's kind of that message with you and the guys that I just mentioned as you go forward to try to get that third star above the crest?
I mean, I guess in the simplest form, like continuity,
Mhm.
consistency, a sense of a standard. I think going back to Lee and Neil and now Nico and Robbie, the Rowdies. I mean, we could go back to 1975. The Rowdies, in my opinion, and I've been fortunate to play for a few clubs, and a lot of clubs have similar attributes, but the Rowdies have this identity about them, and it doesn't just transcend just through the first team or the club. It goes to you, Jay, and it goes to your daughters, and it goes to the
Mhm.
last generation, the next generation, and it goes to the whole community. I think that's something that's particularly really special about the Rowdies. So to have that type of identity or standard, like I was saying, they're going to bring in types of players that live that on and off the pitch. And I think that in essence is your recruiting tactic, or how you bring in like-minded or like talented players. So Lewis, Leo, Aaron, myself, I love these guys. Like I I don't know if I've ever publicly admitted this. And so like we've talked about it a lot with my teammates. Like I had to do what I had to do personally. I had an opportunity of a lifetime. I had to go chase it. I think no one can regret me for that. I'm extremely fortunate and thankful to have been able to come back to the Rowdies, because this is home. But I would have this group of the crew that you just mentioned, I would stay with them forever. There's something very special about, and we're not perfect by any means. I mean, we all have our flaws, but that is kind of what makes a sports team or football team click. So like when guys intuitively, habitually, like I know how Lewis works, I know how Aaron works, I know when Aaron gets passionate or fired up, and I know when he's going to react emotionally, I know when Lewis is willing to like chirp at someone or get the ref. Like these little things before your teammates know themselves, and that's what makes it work. And that's like you can see it in team sports. You can see that team identity, and it's so corny, but it is what it is. Like it's not always
real. It's real though.
Not always the best teams that win the championship. It's not like you can go buy the best players. They still might not win it. There's something about that hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard, like mentality. And I would like to think that the core that you just mentioned, we embrace that. Like we know that, one, we're not perfect, because if we were, frankly, we'd be playing in the Champions League and we wouldn't be here. Two, like that's it in itself. We're just not perfect. So we have that mentality of like, we're just going to keep working. Like we're going to fail a million times, and we're going to like give each other grace to do that. But we're going to also at the same breath, like demand that you keep pushing for more. Like, okay, yeah, you got knocked down 10 times. So stand right back up and go 10th, because the second you quit, you're out and the next guy's up. And I think we all know that in our core. And maybe this goes back into, me being able to say that I'm re-signing with the Rowdies is, that's something that I've had to maybe relearn or retell myself. Is like I couldn't contribute on the pitch, but I can find ways to contribute, and that work and that dedication to finding that team success, regardless of how much you contribute. I mean, that's what it's all about, man.
Yeah, and it's funny
that
you
makes
say that
sense.
because
That put that into
100%. And I'm going to tell you why it makes sense. Is because even though you weren't playing, right, you were still in a bunch of the social media videos. You still were at the majority, if not all, the games, walking across the pitch every day with your black polo on. And I know that fans, that meant something to them, because listen, whether it's on purpose or not, like a lot of times, whether you're a great player or not a great player, it's out of sight, out of mind. We're an attention craved society. But to see you involved so much when you couldn't play, that says like you're part of the team, and it shows, it's indicative of the bond that you guys have, right? Like, and in the way that you guys know that it takes a certain level to be successful, right? And I close my eyes thinking right now, and it's like Lewis is running somewhere right now. He's out running, right? He's
probably running a whole marathon by it. It's 2 o'clock. He's probably running marathons.
He's doing something. Leo is practicing like his touch or 2-touch game. And he's running around with the kids playing soccer, right? Aaron is the quiet. It's so funny. So I interviewed Aaron one time back at the old studio. He was like the most mild-mannered guy. Didn't hear anything. And then the very next game, bro, he gets right in this dude's face and he's screaming at this guy.
I mean,
and I'm like, bro, you had the perfect hair and everything. And I'm just like, bro, Aaron Guillen is hilarious, because you would meet him though. He's like such a nice guy. And then you see him on the pitch. Is he the biggest 180 flip between what he's like in real life than what he is on the pitch?
He's definitely up there. I mean, when that whistle blows, you turn into, whatever monster,
right.
whatever version you turn into. Aaron has we'll say passion or emotional side of him that if it comes out, like it's awesome. I love it. I'm all about it. But it's just one of those things you kind of got to keep it on a leash, because I mean, Aaron's too smart to do anything stupid. I don't think in my experience with him, he's ever done anything stupid. So I'm not going to get that going. But no, dude, when he's fired up, it's awesome. I love it.
One of the things that we talked about in the past was the first time you had a conversation with Neil Collins on the phone in the airport, and you said you could barely understand, which is one of my favorite stories of all time. Jordan Doherty's now over there with him playing, and I got a chance to talk to Neil a couple of times when he was here to visit in the summer, and we went to United. We went to a Manchester derby when he was still over there at Barnsley. We didn't get a chance to meet up with him, but I mean, isn't it crazy to see how when people go to different places, like they somehow find a way to like come back? I mean, your story is a great example of that, like being
Yeah,
able to go take that opportunity and then eventually come back and play with the Rowdies. Like that's got to be one of the cool things about being a professional athlete.
100%. I mean, like, and I've been fortunate enough to place professional soccer now for this long, where I've learned, I've lived the experiences and made my own mistakes and been fortunate enough to recover from them and improve and not let them happen again. So like, I wasn't always like the teammate you just mentioned. There was a time where I was younger where I, maybe got snubbed out of the 11 and I had a sour attitude because I thought I was more deserving. We're all human. We all have those moments, and everyone sees it, like you were saying, whether you want to know it or not. And so like, I was never, I'm imperfect. I'm an imperfect person, but I always try to keep going. So like, I definitely appreciate the love, but I didn't get to where I am because I was just, just showed up. And this is from a lot of failures and a lot of lessons learned. But, yeah, oh, man, I'm sorry. Now I just got a little bit sidetracked because you had me locked up.
No, but it's the great thing about sports, and I feel like being around you guys, the personalities. I mean, even just the training staff and the PR and Gabby and Jake and all the way up to the top with Ryan and everybody. Like you guys have always been so great to me and my family, and I am always so. That to me means more than anything, right? Is how you treat people, right? I am such a big believer on that. Like, it's not about money with me. It's not about what you can do for me. It's about how you treat me, my family, and how you treat other people too, right? That's why it's so easy to cheer and support the Rowdies, not just as the organization as a whole, but you and the guys that we just mentioned. And it's so easy to like bring your family to games, right? And one of my good pals, Jeff Attinella, right? I mean, you want to
Yeah,
talk about going down in Rowdy's history.
yeah,
Uh, it's amazing, right? Like to see what he was able to do. He still is able to give back in the community. And then I know you guys doing camps and let everybody know outside of, obviously getting back on the pitch, what you've been doing. Cause I've been seeing a lot of videos and you guys, it don't stop. There's no off season
yeah.
for
I
you.
mean, you just said it. Like I was the little kid. Like I'm so lucky to be able to have done what I have been done over the years and to be where I am. But like I was that little kid. Like my parents had no idea what soccer was. I just like playing, and all of a sudden I'm playing college and pro, but I'm still that little kid. So like, and now that I have sons of my own, I see it even more, or I can remember it even more. Where that's why we play, is to put smile on people's faces, and like we don't have a job if people don't show up. And
Right.
there's so many things that you could say and go into it, but like at the end of the day, it's exactly what you said. Like the golden rule: treat others the way you want to be treated, or I've been saying this a lot recently with my friends and family, and this metaphorically speaking, like what's the point of having a steak dinner if you're the one eating it by yourself? Like I'd rather cut up that steak dinner and bring all my homies to the table. I don't care how much food I'm eating at that point, but the
Mhm.
camaraderie and the entertainment and the laughter, that's gonna fill me up. I'm gonna be overflowed with that. That's what we need. So this like mentality of like intentionally, so this is where it gets funny. Like
Mhm.
every human, it has greed. We all want success, whether it
Right.
be more of this or more money or whatever. You all want more and more freedom, more success, more choice, whatever. Well, in a weird, contradicting, selfish way, like the more you give to others, the more that will come back to you. So like,
Right.
what am I doing on the side? I did this in the Play for More campaign in 2021 after COVID. I was like, hey, I'm going to start donating money for my performances. I want the fans to tell me what charities or funds are important to them. And we're going to try to raise money for every single one. And I'm going to encourage y'all to match me. I'm going to put my own money on the table. Y'all come hop in the boat and let's raise some money. We raised like 12K that year, like
That's
insane,
great.
for like 16 or 17 different charities. I mean, unbelievable. So then the other day, this is now weeks or months in thinking that, again, this goes back to my injury. Since May 23rd, a switch hit. Just choices in my life. I just cleaned it all up, more intentional, more refined, and I started to just doing a lot more things for the betterment of just the whole good, whether it's my family or me or my
Mhm.
wife or my kids or my neighbors or the club. It didn't matter. I was like, I'm going to make sure I'm going to go out of my way and put effort in where it doesn't immediately pay me back. And that dividend that's not coming right back will show up eventually. And
Mhm.
sure enough, when it shows up, it will probably come back 2, 3, 4, 5, 10-fold. Who knows?
Yep.
So I've been wanting to do soccer clinics and camps. Getting to your long answer to your question, I've wanted to do a camper clinic on my own for a little while. I moved to Europe, had kids, whatever, life had all these variables that showed up. So I had to put it on the back burner. Had the idea one morning. I was like, you know what? I'm doing this. Let's get it going. Through the network that I'm so fortunate to have built in St. Pete, or in Tampa, I have friends and restaurant owners and business owners. And it just was like, hey, I'm going to do this. You want to hop on board? Hey, I'm thinking about doing this. You want to hop on board? And the whole idea was we had 2 trees fall on our home during the storm. I've seen all of our friends that have lost their entire homes because of the flooding or, whatever. Not whatever, because it's not just whatever. There's a ton of really tragedies across our community.
A lot of things.
I was like, I want to help, and I can't help everybody. FEMA can't even help everybody, but that doesn't matter. $1 raise is $1 more than we had yesterday. So I was like, hey, I'm going to do this clinic. I want people to contribute. I want people to donate. I want to get partners. I want to blow it up. I want to get everyone there. But at the end of the day, like, I'm not necessarily there to make money. Like, yeah, we're going to make a little bit of money, sure, but that's not why I'm doing it. I just want to get the kids outside. It's the day after Thanksgiving. I know you're going to be driving your parents crazy inside. You're going to be stirred, like, up. Let's get the kids outside for like 6 hours. Give the parents a break, because, listen, I'm a parent. I want that break as well. Mm-hmm. We're going to provide you a healthy lunch because, again, I want my kids eating good stuff. And we're going to have some laughter. You're going to meet some pros, some role models. We did like trivia at halftime, made it educational. I mean, it wasn't about going to pay some guy for some soccer skills. Mm-hmm. I mean, trust me, the kids learned a ton of football knowledge and wisdom, and we had a great time on the pitch. But like the experience, man, like we had get jersey giveaways, scarves, ice cream afterwards, Cali lunch. I give the plug. Small Batch Creamery provided gift cards and ice cream for the kids afterwards. Cali provided catered lunch for the children at halftime. Cookie Fueled Mama gave gift cards and cookies as giveaways and prizes. Raining Berries provided fresh fruit cups and bananas for the kids to snack on. I mean, it was just like we had numerous people that weren't even in attendance that were like, hey, my kid can't make it because of X, Y, and Z, but we went ahead and made our donation to the GoFundMe. I mean, like stuff like that. Like I was at home and I would get an email being like, hey, blank and blank made a donation to the GoFundMe for $200. And I'm like, what? The clinic's $125. And the email just said the kid's not even going to be there. Like, and I would look at this is amazing. Like we're in a world where like groceries are expensive, bills are expensive, everything's expensive. Mm-hmm. So for people to turn around and like, hey, I want to give to someone else because, again, all the donations went to Rebuilding Tampa Bay, a nonprofit that are helping families in need after natural disasters. Very fitting for our community, obviously. But like people showing up out of the woodwork to help strangers. I'm like that. Like you can see how much it excites me. I mean, it jacks me up. It's sick. Like let's do that more and more and more and more. So no, I'm very fortunate to be with the Rowdies moving forward. And I'm looking forward to doing a lot of the things that I just said. Again, like I'm already trying to plan one for January. We'll see if we can get something going during the summer. I'm already thinking about a way to fundraise throughout the year. I mean, like, let's go. You know what I mean? There's so many ways that we can all help out. And I think sometimes it just takes a little push. And before you know it, everyone else will hop on the train. So
you got that right, partner. Well, make sure you use me as a conduit to get that message out, man, because I'll do whatever I can to help promote the message and do whatever I love the Rowdies, bro. I got the
I see it. I saw it right away.
This thing's a monster, bro. This thing right here, when I wear it to games and it's like 90 degrees outside, this thing is not a great thing to wear in 90-degree weather. Good in the cold days, but I'm like, this is a good podcast shelf one because I got a bunch of other ones, though. Forrest Lasso, Tampa Bay Rowdies defender. He's back 2025. Cannot wait to see you guys back on the pitch. Be well, my friend. Have a great holidays. Give my love to your loved ones, and you're the man. Appreciate it. Talk soon.
Thank you, Jay. You're the man. Talk to you soon.